Good morning, guys. Welcome back to a new session. So today we will be discussing about two terms: notified disasters and notified disease. So, what is a notified disaster? So, notified disaster are the disasters which are caused via natural or man-made reason and have created very much destruction and damage to life, which is unthinkable. It is like out of the uh, range. It is very extreme. So there are till now in India there are 13 notified disasters, which are these. In this, the point to be noted should be paid attention are that hailstorm and pest attack and COVID-19 is also a notified disaster. And heat wave is yet not been a notified disaster. Cold wave is there, but not heat wave is not there. So yeah, here's the thing about notified disasters. So how are disaster notified and what's the logic behind this, like why this category is made. So these are notified under disaster management act. So in disaster management act there's two funds which were made: state disaster response fund and national disaster response fund. So what's the point is that in the SDRF, 75% of the funding is done by the center, and the remaining 25 is done by the state. But for some special category states, there is like only 10% has to be done by them, and rest by the center. So to withdraw fund for the disaster in this state from that fund, the disaster should be a notified one. If that is not a notified disaster, state can't withdraw fund for the rehabilitation and relief. So that's the point where notified disaster is is coming from. So, for example, here heat wave is not a notified disaster. So, if some people in Uttar Pradesh, many people, 100, 200 died, or there's something infrastructure is needed for the mitigation or proactive steps have to be taken. So, Uttar Pradesh can't withdraw fund from there. So, the funding source is not is taken away from them with respect to that. So, yeah, it need to be notified disasters. So that's the thing about notified disaster. But a type of exemption, or you can say point, is there that if state need to cater to the local disasters, like for example, human wildlife conflict is not a notified disaster, but in Kerala, lots of life is getting taken away due to that. So what Kerala can do, it can use 10% of maximum from the SDRF to tackle the local disaster. Only 10%. To withdraw more, it should be a notified disaster. So heat wave, lightning strikes, human animal conflict are yet not declared as a notified disaster. Only these 13 are there under DMA Act. And now come to the second topic is about notified disease. So the difference between both these is that state can't declare a notified disaster, but for notified disease, it's the opposite. State declared notified disease, and it varies from state to state. And it is declared under Epidemic Act 1857. Yeah, so that was the difference. And if a disease is notified, then the medical person who is getting to it should notify it to the authorities. And I think there is a authority made for this only, ICDS, something like that. And the general concept was that a contagious communicable disease should be a notified disease because these are very the they spread very fast. That's why. But now recently, snake bite has also been added as a notified disease, but cancer is yet not a notified disease. So thank you.